Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, back with another mini-sode in my Elf on the Shelf Traveler's Notebook, and I'm working on days, 5 and 6 in this spread, right, I think? Yes, 5 and 6. So initially I had a different plan than what I end up going with. I was going to use my fuse tool and create some pockets in the pocket side of the pocket page notebook, but instead I decided to build two layouts, and that makes them 4x8 layouts, one for each side of the spread. So right now I'm just cutting photo strips to mat this picture of Sid on, and just kind of arranging them, trying to figure out how they're going to work. Man, I was really indecisive about these. I'm going to be building the layout. I started building the layout outside of the book, because once you start getting photos in a traveler's notebook, it starts to get a little bit bulky. So I like to just play around off the page first, and then I start putting it in the book. Now I do build, especially because this is a pocket page notebook, so this is, the right hand side there is actually a clear pocket. I do build the two layouts side to side to build off of the page. Man, who'd have thunk that paper strips are so hard to decide where you want them to be. There we go. I really like the use of blue in this album, the blue and red, because Hermie is that color blue, or at least a close to that color blue, so it's fun to include it in this spread, or in this book. Especially since I have so much of it this year. I bought a lot of that Pink Fresh Studio line that has that blue in it, and then I got a bunch of Hip Kit Club stuff that has that blue in it, so it's nice to be able to use it, because I'm sticking to traditional colors in my regular December daily. So here is the journaling, and of course I've been cutting these into strips, and I decided to include that down at the bottom there. So I'm just kind of trying to decide on the placement. And in this, on this paper, blah, blah, blah. Jeez, I am just brain dead. On this piece of paper, there is that little piece up there at the top that says "Let It Snow." And since they were building quote-unquote snowmen with the donuts, I thought that would work really well with this page. So here's where I start building the other layout, or the layout that goes on the right hand side, and I still hadn't figured out that that's what I was doing yet. So instead of building this on a piece of paper, I'm sort of creating a cluster instead, and then you can see I keep putting it back in there because I'm still in the frame of mind where I'm creating pockets. But once I get this together, which it still needs to be trimmed because I'm cutting it really close here with the sizing. But once I decide that I'm going to make it a whole layout, then this goes a lot faster. I didn't want to cut too much off of this side because it had the snowman that Sid had eaten the head off of. So I wanted to make sure that you could still see that snowman. So that's why I'm cutting it so close. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I can't put these two photos in pockets and have that there. So now we're going to build a whole spread. What should I use? What paper? So I end up using this cute star paper for the bottom there. Perfect. So now I have the other side that I have to start building too, but first let's finish this side. And I'm going to adhere down the journaling strips. Cute. And then, so now I'm like, what should the title here be? And I was thinking, do you want to build a snowman? Of course. But I decide instead to make it, do you want to eat a snowman? Because that's the whole premise of this photo, is that Sid has taken the head off of one of the snowmen and started eating it. Make sure I get that number in there. So I decide that I'm going to, instead of using all these letters, I'm going to hand letter the title, because there's no question mark. First of all, that's what I'm angry about right now. There's no question mark on there. There's exclamation points and no question marks. So that's annoying. But I decided to just go with it anyway. And I'm going to hand letter, do you want to eat a? And I'm going to do it in pencil first, and then I'll write over the pencil. So I'm going to fast forward through this part since you can't really even see what I'm doing. Now I get the pen out, and I decide to offset the letters a bit so that they're not all in a straight line. And I just kind of freehand it because I live life by the seat of my pants, apparently. There we go. I'm going to erase all this pencil. And I like the way that that looks, but it still looks pretty blank up there at the top. So I'm kind of looking at it going, all right, I like that, but what else are we going to put there? So I start getting out all of the stickers and things that I haven't used yet. And I add Christmas tree to the bottom because it was black and the letters are black, so I thought it looked good. And then I decide to add a snowman. I found a snowman, so I had to add it to the layout. So you can see how when I am building spreads that I don't really like do one side at a time. I work it all together to make sure that everything looks good together. I'm going to add a word strip here, another black one to bring some more black in. There we go. I still need something up there for that title though. Frame is not going to go up there, but I do like the way that it looks, so I'm going to add it to that side of the spread. I like these frames a lot for a traveler's notebook because they're not super thick chipboard, which is great for a traveler's notebook. All of this adding, and I still haven't added anything to the top up there. Aha! Found it. So there are these black stickers that I had for my regular December daily out, and they had little black stars on them, which I thought was perfect. There we go. I like that much better. And I'm going to add one over here to a snowflake just to make it all match. So now I can start working on the other side of the spread. So because I created a layout instead of using the pockets, I could have worked on this separately, but I already had it in my brain to work on the whole thing at once, so I'm just going to go with it. So I need something up there for the top of this paper, top of this spread. I need another piece of paper. But I'm trying to decide where the pictures are going to go first. So I really like this red that I've used previously in this album. So I'm going to add that to the top. It plays well with this side of the spread, I think. There's a lot more color on this side of the spread and a lot more red. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these down, and I'm looking through trying to find maybe a card to use. I'm going to use the red in this card to back my journaling, actually. So I cut that fa la la off. I'm going to cut my journaling down and then stick it on that red card. I needed something to back my journaling in because the journaling is, of course, on white paper, and the bottom half of this layout is white paper. And I thought that the red would be a good choice because it matches the red at the top, so we have kind of a visual balance down here at the bottom now. Okay, so now I can add a little bit of a title in between those two. And I need to add my number in, of course, as well. I actually liked it there a lot, but I didn't like the overhang as much. There was just too many squares going on, and it just looked weird. So I decided to put it down there at the bottom instead. Just tuck it in. And of course, we've got more of those black embellishments. And I'm just trying to kind of bridge the gap between that bottom piece and the top up here without making it look like I'm bridging the gap. That's always the key, right, with scrapbooking, is doing something to accomplish a goal without making it look like that's what you were trying to do. Oh my goodness. So I think that side is just about done now. So I can work on the right hand side of that spread. Oh my goodness, it's too many layers. I keep getting it caught on everything. There we go. So I'm going to keep this side of the spread fairly simple because there's so much going on the other side. And I really liked this polar bear. He looks kind of like he's photobombing, which is good for this side of the spread because of the photobomb reference. So I'm going to mat this photo. I'm going to do it on this pink card. And I have to do it in a way that this polar bear is not going to go off the edge. So the mat is going to be a bit off-centered in comparison to the photo, which is fine with me. Cute. I like the way that the pink plays off the pink in the polar bear's cheeks too. I thought about adding this tape along the side, but I don't like it there, so I end up adding it on the top and the bottom instead. I wanted to replicate the tape because it was on the left-hand side there. So I wanted to bring it over to the right-hand side too. Now I'm looking through my stickers, deciding what I want to add. And I decided to add a banner. And this banner is sticker paper, so you can't write on it, which I test out in just a second just to double check. I mean, you can write on it. You have to have the right kind of pen, and I couldn't find the right kind of pen where I was looking. So I decided instead to use letter stickers to write my title. So I get out the pen and then I test it. Oh, you can see me go, oh wait, no, that's not going to work. So I test it on the sticker sheet and that, yep, it smears. So I get out letter stickers instead. At first I was like, well, maybe I just won't add a title because there's so many words. Why do I need a title? So I'm thinking about if I want to add a title at all right now, and I'm adding puffy stickers instead. Now I'm like, okay, I got the title, and I'm going to put selfie or Elfie. I don't know which one it is. Maybe. There we go. And this is all done. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be bringing December daily inspiration all month long. Thank you.